So, in light of what's been going on in our world recently, and in light of the fact that it's Black History Month, we thought we'd have a conversation on behalf of 700 Club Canada to talk a little bit about what's going on in our world.
Yeah, and really it's a response to how we as followers of Christ should respond to injustice and inequality. And we thought a great place to shoot this was actually at Salem Chapel, which was established in 1814 by the abolitionist movement as a safe haven for slaves escaping from slavery. And it also became a place of civic protest and lectures against slavery. And so we thought this would be great. So, Chris, when you think of injustice and inequality, what immediately comes to your mind?
Well, it's a problem that's not new. We see this from the relationship between Cain and Abel to the people of Israel dealing with their lives in Egypt. We see it with the Aboriginal community and what happened here in Canada, slavery, as you mentioned, all the way to bullying online with students. The idea of injustice and inequality is something that is so deep into our DNA as humanity. The idea of consolidating power and making sure that what's better for me isn't what's good enough for you. And so justice becomes something that is wielded, something that is costly, something that we say, you know what, I really don't care about you. Being equal isn't what's right. Actually, what's better for me is me being equal and you being less than.
Yeah, I love that you tie it to the Bible. This is actually a human condition from the beginning of time. And I think God is actually a huge advocate against injustice. And actually, the nation of Israel was supposed to be the loudest voice against oppression in their time and in their culture. And I think that translates to us as well. And yeah, so what do you think? I mean, I think a lot of people go, I don't struggle with this problem, or it's not my issue. What do you say to that?
I say that justice is a human issue.
Yeah.
We look at the life of Jesus. Jesus sought to do life and to care for people. And if we're going to be people who are like Jesus, there has to be this idea of being able to say, I'm going to do whatever I can to do right, to do good, to do caring, to love other people. If we are people of Jesus, then being people of justice is naturally who we are supposed to be.
I love that, and I agree with you 100%. And so this is a problem we must talk about, we must address, and we must do something about.
And it reminds me of the Bible verse in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. It says this, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case for the widow.
Yeah, and so I agree that we as followers of Christ should lift our hand and raise our voice to be a defender of those who find themselves in oppression everywhere in the world.